Political Leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamla Persad, parliamentary colleagues, brothers and sisters of the United National Congress, Trinidad and Tobago. On January 24th, 2022, we as a party recognize the 12th anniversary of the Honorable Kamla Persad as our political leader. Over the course of those 12 years of service, we provided this country with the best Prime Minister and the first woman to become Prime Minister of our country. We saw the construction and unprecedented development of schools, hospitals, bridges, highways, roads, and much, much more. Lest we forget, it was her leadership that birthed the Children's Life Fund, the Laptop Initiative, and the world ranking of the best place for a girl child to be born by the World Economic Forum. It was under Kamla Persad-Bissessa's prime ministership that our economy flourished, with foreign direct investment peaking at $48 billion in 2014. Apart from her sterling contribution as Prime Minister, tonight I want to ask, would this country have been aware of the $1 billion fake oil scandal had opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessa not exposed it? Would this country have known that a high-ranking government official intercepted the top cop order of merit list surreptitiously from the clutches of the president? Would we have known as a country, if it was not for Kamla Persad-Bissessa, that Delcy Rodriguez came into this country with officials of PDVSA on a sanctioned aircraft? There is so much to ask tonight. But tonight, I want to deal frankly and brutally with another matter that Kamla Persad-Bissessa exposed in 2018 in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. Please play the video.
Opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessa has accused the government of being secretive regarding the share agreement for the purchase by TSTT of 100% shares of Massey Communications for $255 million. Mrs. Persad-Bissessa was speaking in the House of Representatives today during the debate. Sharon Lewis has more.
Last week, majority state-owned company TSTT announced a share purchase agreement with the value of the impending sale and $255 million TT dollars. This the opposition leader is calling deceptive, saying the Prime Minister and the Line Minister knew about the SPA all along.
And in this very Parliament, we cannot get one minister saying the same thing as the other. It is as though the Honourable Minister of Finance, it is as though that no one has any confidence in the Honourable Minister, when as corporation sole he could tell this country that he knew nothing about the Massey transfer sale. Nothing. And the Line Minister in this House, I have the Hansard, tells this Parliament not once, not twice, but more than 3 times the Cabinet did not know about Massey.
Mrs. Persad-Bissessa believes that there was no transparency in this merger and is calling on the government to come clean with the facts.
So do I believe the Honourable Minister of Finance? Do I believe the Honourable Minister for Public Utilities, the Line Minister? I think the Minister for Port of Spain, North and Anse West, the Minister in the Ministry of the Office of the Prime Minister, because all the reports coming through in the last week or two from these ministers as the Cabinet knew nothing. Why do I raise this? I raise this in the context of good, honest, equitable, transparent government.
On Tuesday, the unions representing workers at TSTT, which we are on the eve of today being Monday, have been summoned to a meeting at 9 a.m. All unions have been invited to what we know is not a consultation on the restructuring of TSTT, but the death announcement of over 700 workers from the organization. TSTT currently has a complement of 1,000 workers. When Kamla Persad-Bissessa left as Prime Minister, TSTT had a complement of over 3,000 workers. Under Rowley's watch, There's now a complement of 1,000 workers. With the much anticipated announcements coming, not consultation, announcements coming to the unions tomorrow. It is anticipated that over 700 workers will go home, all, in an effort to privatize TSTT and further sell out to friends and financiers of the PNM. In 2018, when government bought Massey Communication for over $279 million, government remained silent, and you saw political leaders standing her ground in the parliament, questioning the Prime Minister, questioning the Minister of Finance as it relates to the acquisition of Massey Communications at a tune of $279 million under secret circumstances. Confusion between ministers. No one knew about this acquisition, we were told. Our leader has been telling us what is in the dark will come to the light. With the impending retrenchment of workers come Tuesday, I have several questions I want to ask this evening. You see, some documents have found its way into my mailbox. And the very first question that I want to ask was whether TSTT breached their contract with Amplia prior to the buying out of Massey Communications with a company called Fujitsu. Second question, was a storm in a teacup situation created for now CEO Lisa Agard of TSTT, who was then a director at Massey Communication, to threaten legal action against TSTT? Documents in my mailbox suggest, and it might very well reveal, the circumstances and the reasons why Massey Communication was bought by the government so secretively, as asked by our political leaders since 2018 in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. Based on these documents, I want to ask whether TSTT, prior to the purchase of Massey Communications, had a contract with Amplia for a program called Oracle. Was TSTT's hand forced to purchase Massey Communications, who had less than 5,000 customers, no profits registered, and is currently, at that time, on its deathbed to avoid litigation? Fifth question, are the same players involved in this matter now at senior management levels at TSTT to demonize TSTT employees? Is this an effort to drive TSTT into the ground and transfer assets to Amplia? Was this the perfect storm where government created a situation, took a hands-off approach, and pushed agents of the PNM to do their bidding? This is the same playbook as Petrotrin. Brothers and sisters, when Petrotrin was closed down and Heritage was opened up, now we are seeing where efforts are being made for TSTT to be closed down and transfer everything to Amplia. Is this the real reason why 4 directors up to January 18th resigned from the board? Is this why Emily Elias resigned as chairman of TSTT? Those were the questions that were asked in the parliament since 2018 by Kamla Persad. Today, as Mrs. Persad tells us, what is in the dark will come to the light. Brothers and sisters, on the eve of the major announcements by TSTT, I want to deal with another matter that has TSTT in the situation that it is facing today. I refer to an article, Thursday, January 17, 2019, headline, 500 million TSTT deal gone sour, 40,300 phones idle in Miami warehouse. Brothers and sisters, this deal, this sour deal, as indicated by Renuka Singh on January 17, 2019. The article says this: this is the second contract queried in the internal audit, which Guardian Media received a copy, along with a thick file of other documents from a whistleblower seeking to expose alleged financial mismanagement at the company. $500 million. Faris Al-Rawi, come Friday when you bring that whistleblower legislation to the parliament, you must tell us, when Kamla Persad Bissessar called you out in 2018, why is whistleblower legislation for $500 million now coming to the parliament? I further want to ask, in this article it said, Guardian Media learned that part of the agreement was the supply of 56,300 mobile phones valued at US $84.1 million. That's US, not TT. However, the absence of a formal agreement left CT Miami holding some 40,300 phones valued at $29 million US for TSTT. Tonight I want to ask, because if government cannot say, the documents that have found its way to the opposition will find its way to the authorities. Who is blocking the whistle blowing for who? Which government official is in the middle of this matter? Which government official met with executives in Miami to broker this deal? Whistleblower legislation. Come Friday in the parliament, we will have some issues to deal with frontally. The assets of TSTT will come into play tomorrow when the unions are addressed by management. This is no mama guy of consultation. They are being called in, summoned to be told what will be their fate, what will be their future, all going. Brothers and sisters, I have some documents that I want to share with you. So, like Petrotrin, the attempt to demonize the workers at TSTT will come into play tomorrow and over the course of the next few weeks. But we must understand, like Petrotrin registered a profit in 2014. Up to the time Kamla Persad Bissessar left as Prime Minister, Petrotrin was making a profit on the books. Post Prime Minister Kamla Persad Bissessar, what did we see? We saw year after year after year, Petrotrin going down and down and down until they were in the red. The same playbook is happening at WASA, which I will deal with on another occasion. You see that WASA subcommittee report will find its way very soon in the public domain. But that entire situation at WASA was created to deal with a fellow called Watson Duke. But instead of dealing with Watson Duke dealt with the P&M. But let us get back on track. TSTT. How did TSTT arrive at the situation it's in, and on the eve of over 700 workers to go home? How did they arrive at that situation? They will have the population believe that because of the environment, the technological environment, right now with WhatsApp calls and connectivity, that is the reason why TSTT is losing money. I just told you, $500 million, $500 million down the drain. Who was the top government official that ran up the road to Miami to broker that deal when there were no arrangements that were put in place by TSTT to have those contracts signed? Faris Al-Rawi, come on Friday. That information that was provided by the whistleblower, I hope you can tell that to Trinidad and Tobago, how you intend on getting back that $500 million under your watch as Attorney General, under the watch of Prime Minister Keith Rowley, who today throws up their hand in the air and says, just like in 2018 when Mrs. Persad Bissessar asked, they said government had no knowledge of this. Today we are saying to you that we have the information and you can run, but you cannot hide. The other matter that we will deal with tonight has to do with the assets of TSTT. I have a few photographs that I want to share because one of these properties reside a stone's throw away from my constituency office. Property 1, Property 2, Property 3, Property 4, Property 5, Laventil Work Center, Sapero Street Work Center, Porter Spain Work Center, property in Matilda, property in San Fernando, all owned by TSTT, the assets of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. These are not the assets of any private organization. The patrimony of Trinidad and Tobago, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, lies in the ownership of TSTT. Brothers and sisters, these 5 properties have been vacant. They are for warehouse usage, they are for specialized usage. And I share those properties with you because another document has found itself in my mailbox. And this property has to do with a sole select. And sole select means that the management of TSTT and government will have us believe that what is happening at TSTT they have no knowledge of since 2018 and even before. But as I've said to you time and time again, the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago, headed by the Prime Minister, the line minister for TSTT is the Minister of Public Utilities, Marvin Gonzalez. They dictate to state enterprises and state companies when major decisions in terms of acquisitions, in terms of rentals, etc., to be made. They are the ones who determine what is government policy. Well, the Prime Minister told us that the rich will get richer. While these 5 properties across Trinidad and Tobago remain vacant, the properties that are owned by the people of Trinidad and Tobago, the rich is getting richer based on these documents in this file. You see, there's a property in Dabadee that government, through TSTT, has signed a contract for. They have spent $8.6 million to outfit only to outfit. There is a lease agreement, I'm told, it is alleged, for over 15 years, with millions of dollars of Trinidad and Tobago taxpayers' money funding this, while properties across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago remain vacant. When you look at the company's registry, I don't have the time to go through the names this evening, but this is the creme de la creme of the 1% of Trinidad and Tobago. When the Prime Minister told us the rich will get richer, he knew exactly what he was speaking about. So it is not the employees at TSTT that has us in the position that we are in today. It is not the people, according to Ms. John, in the Beetham and in Laventil, where those same properties reside, where they can be hiring Trinidad and Tobago citizens within these so-called hotspot and depressed areas to put them to work. You know, I heard the Minister of Public Utilities, Marvin Gonzalez, accusing the UNC of sabotaging their project in Beetham. I want to tell the PNM tonight, you should be ashamed to speak about the Beetham. You have kept the people of Beetham who have voted nothing but the People's National Movement since prior to independence in this country in bondage. You have sabotaged the people of Beetham and Laventil to the point where they continue to live in squalor and poverty, passing on from generation to generation. You know, I heard my colleague earlier, Michelle Benjamin, dealing with the issue of NCC's announcement this evening for Carnival. And we are being told in this pandemic that government has raided the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, billions of dollars. Ravi told us we cannot see where it's going. We are seeing the privatization of state companies, WASA, TNTech, Petrotrin, to the tune of billions of dollars, while the people of Trinidad and Tobago continue to suffer. Brothers and sisters, when Michelle told you that the announcement was $20 million, it's not $20 million, it's over $35 million jumping up. The only thing jumping up is not the people and the masqueraders, it's the money of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And in local parlance, we say, you could have champagne taste or champagne money. But in this case, you have champagne taste, champagne money, and mobby taste. This is the scenario that we are seeing. This is exactly what is playing out. Over $35 million. But brothers and sisters, they are jamming still while the people of Trinidad and Tobago continue to suffer. While tomorrow we'll be paying close attention to what another state enterprise is being sabotaged at the hands of this government, we sound notice and warning to the people of Trinidad and Tobago to ensure that you stand up with the United National Congress, you stand up with the Honorable Kamla Persad, because we are the ones who will continue to expose the People's National Movement. And come Friday, with that whistleblower legislation to the Parliament, you better come good. Because we will be walking with a whistle, and we will see who will blow the whistle on who. Brothers and sisters, I thank you, and it's very interesting times ahead. But surely, as night follows days, as Ravi told you, the sun will rise again, and the Honorable Kamla Persad will continue, and we will continue to stand with her on the side of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.